mark the word.
Finding all these sticks and I'm like, what is this? It ended up to be a fish trap. So we had it carbon dated and they're 2,000 years old. So, and we're slowly finding more and more throughout Pteresburg, but they're in a heart shape. So at high tide, when the fish would come in, they'd come in a clockwise motion. And they're petroglyphs, which I don't know if you guys will get to go out and see them. They're right over here on these black rocks you see out here on this corner that are sticking out. And those just have a picture on there similar to this that got carved into the stone years ago. We don't know how long they've been there. We can only guess that they're there as long as our fish traps, around 2,000 years ago. There was already another group of people here, but then the natives came from Cake and took over the group that was already here.
So they were not Tlingits that were here then?
I don't think so.
There were some other...
Yeah. So then they came here during the summer for their fish camp. They stayed in Cake, which is about 40 miles away from here, and so they'd come here every summer and just set up their fish camp. And they do their hunting. They go out for bear, deer, moose, anything. That's a picture you'd see on there if you guys got to go out and see them. But those you usually find in like a cave or a sheltered rock overhang. And ours is right out here by the water, and the only thing we could think about that is if, when they did in the same time they did the fish traps was that they did it to welcome back the salmon every year. And that's why it's out by the water. That's the only logical reason we can come up for it right now, because we don't have anything on them. So, halibut hook, like this, you just take a chunk and cut it. They'd put it on here and they'd use like the bullhead pelt. They'd dry that out and that'd be really strong. And they'd stick that on the end of this and then they'd just let it sink and they'd wait to catch a halibut on there. But they made the hooks on here so big that the smaller halibut couldn't get their mouth around it, only the larger ones could. And this one my mom got from her brother. He was out halibut fishing and he caught a halibut and he cut it open and this was in its stomach.
Oh my God.
So that halibut was actually able to swallow the whole thing. Oh. So I'll pass that around so everybody can look at that.
Then this was a typical hook for large halibut
yes.
And fishing from boats.
Yeah.
And what's the hook made out of?
The hook, that one's just out of metal. The older ones they use like a bone, from like
bone,
a seal or anything.
sharpened bone.
Yeah.
It was a big truck cut it in the way.
Oh, well this is what they looked at before they got raised. And this is when they're working on them. They built this little carport in between the Scandia house and our insurance building. And so then it was just a cedar log and they started carving away at it. You can see all the wood chips in here. And then they got them painted, but we had Fred Beltran and Tommy Joseph, both are from Sitka. And Fred's an eagle and Tommy's a raven. So we had Fred build the raven totem pole and the other one built our eagle totem pole.
When were they done?
Oh.
Recently. Quite recently.
No, they're done in the beginning of 2001. We got them raised, but those were $50,000 each. And when we did our totem pole raising, we had lots of ropes coming off of it. So people downtown had to go grab a rope and pull it so it would stay stable. So there was probably about 300 people just about on each rope to hold it up so it stayed stable. Wow. Oh, and I can pass this around if you guys want to look at it. That's the stake. Some other colors, they go, well, you can use blue. I was like, well, how come no other colors? But it's at night when they dance around their fires. Actually, all you'd see would be the design on the back of the blanket. Because the black and the red would fade in, and all you'd see are the buttons and everything dancing around from the campfire. So that's all you would see. So.
Excuse me.
You wouldn't have to
I would like to show
these.
them on the left.
I'm not jumping in the ocean.
No, I will.
Oh.
Can I?
If you want to.
Okay, I'm going to show them.
Okay. So he's going to show you. Go ahead. You can tell him.
I'm going to show you guys how Alaskans like to swim in the ocean.
Okay. Don't do it for us.
No, I'm going to show you.
I want you to get together.
Put your hands together one time. I want you to get together. 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 Put your hands together. I want you to get together.